Kaz, how are we doing today, buddy?
Good, how are you, Tony?
It's always a pleasure, always a pleasure, and I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. The last time you and I were on camera, we had the pleasure to talk about sinker EDM, wire EDM, but I gotta be honest, when you told me sinker EDM, I went back to my lifeguard days and was thinking about all the sinkers I had to save at the pool as people walk right in front of camera, but that's okay, they're delivering beer, so totally worth it. So back to the important stuff of technology, sinker EDM, and not kids drowning in my pool. Let's talk sinker EDM and where Sodick stands out in that world.
So obviously we got our AD35. This is our entry-level machine. However, it has all the core technologies that we've been talking about and what Sodick is well known for. Our rigid linear motor drives with our absolute glass scale. This is Sodick technology. No other company can mimic that, and we really design our whole machine around that technology. So looking at our machine, we have our graphite electrode. You can use copper electrodes so that we're closer to the workpiece as well. But why Sodick? It's really that rigid linear motor drive and that speed that we get, that 1440 inches per minute. Why is that so good? When we're down at the workpiece, we're obviously active. We're discharging all the electrical spark in the way. But the more magic happens when we're going away, when we're going up and away from the workpiece, we're basically vacuuming away all that debris. No other company can have this flushless machining. A lot of benefits to that as well. The wear for your electrode is really minimal compared to all the other machines out in the market.
Just let me say your energy is incredible. I'm already inspired to want to buy about 7 of these things. Thank you very much. Something that caught my attention when you were saying that, and I know we're going to slide into wire in just a second, you mentioned graphite versus copper. What's the difference between the two and why one versus the other?
So we are in an oil-based environment. However, copper electrodes, you can get closer to the workpiece. That's why you could fine-tune your spark gap so that it's even finer. You get a better surface finish and better accuracy entirely. However, graphite is used in 90% of the sinkering market because of the speed, production. That's what most of our customers want. However, there is that copper electrode if you want to do even finer surface finishes.
So we're kind of a mix of graphite and copper, you and I. We're going fast and we're kind of fine, right? We're doing it. All right, let's slide over to wire a little bit now. Traditionally known in the copper world, right?
Yep.
And about 10 thou diameter, I believe.
Exactly.
Correct. So let's talk wire and wear, because I think of it as a set it and forget it, run it overnight, through the weekends type of machine with those tight tolerance corners, all of that side of the world, right? Where do you bring it into the world of Mexico? Because you and I are standing in Quito right now with your partner at Protecnic.
You can't beat rigid linear motor drives again with absolute glass scale. We got the ALN over there with our TH comp, so it does move our our rigid linear motor drives. Micro adjustments so that it's truly in the right location. And 2, iGroove Plus. We gotta be rotating the wire. You wanna use a different piece of the wire as we're traveling down the workpiece. You really have to. It gives you better surface finish, better geometric accuracy, and better yet, right, you're saving money. Who doesn't want to save money, put money in their pockets, right? If you have tens, dozens of those machines, right, you're saving money. I mean, who doesn't want to do that?
Kaz, you're right. Let me just look at the camera real quick and say, guys, Kaz is spot on. When we're thinking about investing in quality technology that may or may not cost you more up front, think about that money you're putting in your pocket through the years as you continue to invest in yourself and your company. The future of your company and your employees rely on those investments, and that's where Sodick comes into play. So I have to say it like that. Okay, let's slide a little bit into the world of milling. Sodick has great milling machines as well. In fact, I was just in California where my lips were equally as dry as they are right now in Querétaro, and I had the greatest technology interview with Kingston. This young lady actually had herself removed from a will in her family because she believed in Sodick so much, she bought a machine without her father's permission. She's obviously taken over the company and been put back on the will at this point, but that's the quality of Sodick when it comes to 3-axis machining. Let's quickly touch on that.
It's basically a CMM. That's how accurate these guys are. They don't buy a CMM, they buy a UH instead because this 3-axis mill is that accurate. Again, rigid linear motor drives with their absolute glass scale. You cannot beat it with this and the THK guys that come with it.
Yeah, great way to summarize as we slide into our last topic of today, one of my favorite topics because it's a world that I would make the discussion at one time was what everyone were talking about. And then it didn't move quite as quickly as the world wanted it to, but we've seen places where it is thriving and growing, and we can talk about it because there are concepts on internal components with splines like this that we just cannot mill. So let's talk about, have I given enough segue for this one? Let's talk about additive manufacturing, 3D printing.
I mean, there's so many major types of, right? For example, like DED, FDM, there's binder jet, right? We have a powder bed system. Why is that so good? We need density. Most of our customer base, if I'm going to be honest, is going to be in the mold and die industry. We want a functional final part machine. A powder bed is going to be able to do that. And what's really unique with our system is we got our one process milling machine where you could really finish 90%, 95%, because not only do you have the laser additive product, you also have the 40,000 RPM mill that goes along in one machine. So honestly, you're 90%, 95% of the way done for your part or mold.
Well, Kaz, you are the graphite, you are the copper, you are the quality, you are the speed, and I don't know if I've met anyone with more energy than me on camera, but Kaz might have it. For everyone watching, this is Japanese quality, this is Sodick. Thank you so much for your time. You're a good man.
Thank you.